So if you want to make the maximum amount of money possible, like if you just want to get rich over your life and you want to do it in a deterministic, predictable way, what you would do is you would basically
make the switch. Get this one thing right and everything else gets easier. Chapter 1. The switch. If you stay till the end, I'll give you a 7-day starter plan to go from zero to your first thing that can make money online, and you can start it tonight. There are really 2 roads. One is the status and hours road, where every day you must show up and prove yourself again. The other is the wealth and assets road, where you build something useful once, keep a small piece of it, and let that piece work for you tomorrow, next week, and next month. On the first road, your worth is tied to the clock and to what people think of you today. On the second road, your worth is tied to the value you create and the slice you own of that value. Money is just the thank you people give when you solve a real problem. Status is the noisy ladder that keeps you looking sideways. Wealth is owning a small machine that keeps working when you sleep. When you choose wealth, you also choose peace. You turn down the drama that pulls you into endless arguments, and you follow builders who show their work. You make a simple promise to yourself. You will earn with your mind, not only with your time, and you will own a piece of what you make, even if that piece is tiny at the start. The internet makes this switch possible for everyone because it lets you reach people without asking for permission. You can write a guide that saves someone an hour. You can make a small tool that fixes a boring task. You can share what you learn so a stranger on the other side of the world gets help while you sleep. This is why the road matters. When your effort becomes an asset, the same hour can help 100 people instead of 1, and it can keep helping long after you log off. From this point on, your questions change. Instead of asking, how do I work more hours? You ask, what can I build once that helps many people again and again? Instead of asking, how do I get noticed? You ask, what problem can I solve so clearly that people notice on their own? You'll still work hard, but now the work stacks. Each small improvement sits on top of the last one. Each honest promise you keep makes trust grow a little more. And as trust grows, your small slice becomes more valuable. That's the switch, from a life measured only in hours to a life measured in assets you own. Keep this picture in mind as we move forward, because the next step is where the change becomes real. We're going to take a simple problem from your own week, turn it into a tiny, useful thing, and make sure you keep a piece of it. Before we go on, what you're hearing is my breakdown of Naval Ravikant's ideas, not something I invented. His 3-hour How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky podcast is the full blueprint. I've just turned it into a shorter, easier-to-use version for you. Now let's keep going. Chapter 2. Building the Engine. Look at your own week and write down 10 small pains you felt. Maybe a messy list took forever to clean. Maybe a form confused a friend. Maybe the same question kept coming up at work. Circle one pain you can fix in a single weekend and keep the scope tiny so you can finish. On Saturday morning, you make a version that helps one real person. It might be a short, plain guide that walks a beginner through a scary step. It might be a one-button web tool that cleans a list in seconds. It might be a simple checklist that stops a costly mistake. You are not trying to impress everyone. You are trying to help someone clearly. When that first person says, "This helped," you feel a new kind of energy, because the help keeps working when you step away. Now you take the key step. You keep a piece. If you made the tool, you own the tool. If you wrote the guide, you own the guide. If you join a small team, you try to hold a small slice of ownership. This slice is equity. It is the reason your machine can pay you tomorrow for work you did today. Think about a doctor. A doctor paid only for a night shift must keep showing up to earn. A doctor who owns the clinic or the special process earns when the doors open, even if someone else is on duty. That is the difference between renting hours and owning a piece. Engines also need oil, and in your engine the oil is trust. Put your name or brand on your work and keep your promises in public. Say what you will build next, then build it. Answer questions with care. Share small updates so people can see progress. Trust lowers friction. It helps customers stay. It attracts partners who finish what they start. While you do this, you grow your specific knowledge, the mix of skills and interests that feels like play to you and looks like hard work to others. It is hard to copy someone who shows up with honest work, steady learning, and a name that stands behind it. If this is clicking for you so far, do me a small favor, tap like. It helps this reach more people trying to escape the wrong road. Chapter 3. Giving the engine power. Your engine works. Now it needs power. There are two kinds. Permissioned power uses other people's money and other people's time, and it needs someone to say yes. Permissionless power uses code and media, and it needs no one's permission at all. Code lets computers do small jobs for people again and again. Media lets your lessons travel while you sleep. You can press publish. You can press deploy. No one can stop you from helping the next person who needs your solution. If you do not code, you can still win by teaching. Explain a scary step so a beginner feels safe. Record a clear demo that shows the fix in action. Write a friendly guide and give it a title that tells the truth. If you do code, keep it tiny and useful. Make the button that does the job and show it with a 1-minute video. The internet is full of quiet robots in big buildings. Let them carry the load. Each time you ship, you increase your surface area for luck. More people can find you. More chances appear for the right person to say, "This is exactly what I needed." While you ship, build 2 core skills that multiply everything else. Learn to build because useful things create value. Learn to sell because clear words help people say yes to that value. If you can do both, you become very hard to stop. To make this real, give yourself a simple challenge. Promise yourself to ship one small thing every week for 12 weeks. Do not chase polish, chase finished. That streak will teach you more than any course. Chapter 4. The Payoff. The payoff arrives like the tide, slow, then all at once. A stranger buys your guide while you are at dinner. A small team pays for your tool while you sleep. You were not at your desk, yet the machine worked. You start choosing work that pays more than once, and you say no to tasks that only pay today. You keep costs low so you can take smart risks. You pick honest partners who show finished work. You avoid big bets that could end your story, and instead make many small moves that make sense on their own. You keep reading across simple fields that sharpen judgment: microeconomics, game theory, psychology, persuasion, ethics, math, and computers. You stay impatient with actions, because shipping is how you learn, and patient with results, because compounding needs time in the game. If you like a plan, here is a short one you can read as a story and record as is. On day 1, write 10 pains from your own life and circle one you can fix. On day 2, write a 1-page plan to fix it in a tiny way. On day 3, choose your power, a basic web tool or a 3-page PDF guide. On day 4, build a first version in 4 hours and stop when it works. On day 5, publish it and ask 5 relevant communities for clear feedback. On day 6, fix the top 1 or 2 issues and add a simple checkout or email capture. On day 7, ship version 1, take a breath, and sketch version 1.1. That is all. It is calm, it is doable, and it is the start of a new road where your time belongs to you again. If this opened your eyes, part 2 is where it gets dangerous. In a good way, you're 1 video away from knowing exactly what to do tomorrow morning. Click part 2 on screen and I'll show you exactly how to live it. Hour by hour, dollar by dollar. If it's not there yet, subscribe so you don't miss it.
So if you want to make the maximum amount of money possible, like if you just want to get rich over your life and you want to do it in a deterministic, predictable way, what you would do is you would basically stay on the bleeding edge of trends, and you would study technology and just design and art and things that you think, and you would become really good at something. You would basically be waiting for your moment until something emerged in the world where they needed that skill set. and you're uniquely qualified, you would build your brand in the meantime on Twitter, on YouTube, by giving away free work so people have heard of you. You would make a name for yourself, and you would take some risks in the process. And then, when it was time to move in on that opportunity, you would do so with leverage, the maximum leverage possible. And the maximum leverage would mean that you would have people working for you. It would mean you would have a fund, or you would have capital. It would mean that you would be writing a book. It would mean that you would be writing code, and that you would be building a media presence.